A windy evening in the Omaha Metro as the Owls return to Werner Park for the first time this year to take on one of the remaining unbeatens in the league. From Papillion, Nebraska, it's Union Omaha and Northern Colorado Hailstorm. It's USL League One soccer on ESPN+. I'm Donnie Barnes. Let's see how the League One standings are looking in these still very early stages. Just 3 matches played for the Hailstorm, all on the road. They've done very well with a win and 2 draws. Both these teams played against MLS clubs in midweek in the U.S. Open Cup, with Omaha losing to St. Louis City and the Hailstorm falling to Colorado Rapids. Both played well, though, and are hoping to build on that experience over the rest of this league season now. Well, he's not in the starting 11, but one of the players experiencing a strong start to this campaign for Omaha has been Joe Gallardo. He scored from a free kick against North Carolina a couple weeks ago. Head coach Dom Casciato says that while he can catch your eye with his ability on the ball, what's most impressed him has been his attitude to work without the ball. Expect to see him make an impact off the bench later in this game here tonight. Colorado Springs have been so good on set pieces the past couple years, and that's mainly thanks to Arthur Rogers, who serves one of the best dead balls in the league. He's the reason you do not want to give away fouls in your defensive third against the Hailstorm, because he can put a ball in such difficult-to-defend spots, and he's also part of this back line that hasn't conceded a goal in their first 3 league games. The Hailstorm start this season with 6 straight on the road, and after narrowly missing the playoffs last year, they are determined not to dig themselves a hole despite such a challenging schedule. The Owls, meanwhile, hoping their good moments from the last couple league games come together into a complete performance and a 3-point result tonight. Our first taste of Werner Park, your starting 11s and kickoff are next.
Bags are packed, are you ready to go? This time tomorrow we'll be on the road, riding with you into sunnier days. I wouldn't want it any other way. Home is with you wherever that may be.
There's the procession onto the pitch. These two sides just about set for action at Werner Park here tonight. Again, effectively the home opener for Union Omaha. They played a couple home matches at UNO's home park at Caniglia Field across town, but first time at Werner Park, which has been their usual home over the past few years. Let's take a look at our starting 11s tonight, presented by Rotella's Italian Bakery. And for the home side, wearing their black and gold kits, we think they're going to line up in a 4-4-2, the Owls. Just one change from their last starting 11, with Pedro Dolabella into the starting lineup up top with Noe Meza as one of the 2 forwards. He scored against St. Louis City in midweek. A really nice goal from a tough angle, and he's rewarded with his start tonight. Joe Gallardo drops to the bench, but again, expect him to be impactful later on tonight. For Northern Colorado, meanwhile, as they will be in their away kits tonight, those white tops and bottoms. They line up, we believe, like this, listed in a 3-5-2. It looks like they're going to really try to clog up the middle of the pitch and prevent Omaha from creating down the spine. Keep an eye, of course, on Rogers at that right side of the defense. If they play 3 at the back, we suspect this will be fluid throughout the game. But just a couple changes for them from their last lineup. No Rob Cornwall, who is their normal captain. He is not in the 18 tonight. Norte Norti, who is also featured heavily early this year and most of last year, also not among the 18 for them, as like Omaha, they play their second game this week. And the Hailstorm gave a really tough matchup to Colorado Rapids on Wednesday, losing 3-1, but played really well and had some good chances, but they were punished on the few chances that they conceded, which certainly can happen against MLS opposition. But pleased with how they played and what they showed, and hoping for better results in the future. But good results in the league so far. They continue this long road stretch to begin the year. They're 4th of 6 away from home to start the season. It'll be 8 in a row away from home if you count their cup games. Our referee tonight is Deshaun Beard. And it is Omaha who will get us underway as they'll attack from left to right in this opening half. Breezy, blustery. This is a small pitch, of course. Here we go. Union Omaha's real home opener against one of the league's remaining unbeatens. Back in these small confines where crazy things can happen. We'll see what we see here tonight. Shaft Brewer, an early touch. He was put under immediate pressure. Again, you have much less time and space on this pitch. You will be closed down quickly most of the time, but you can also create something very quickly, as it is a shorter pitch as well as a narrower one. There is the first touch for Rashid Nuhu in goal as usual for Omaha, and we've seen plenty of instances the last few years where he has bombed the ball down the pitch from a goal kick or from an open play situation and created a secondary assist. It only takes a touch or two to be in the attacking third here sometimes. There's Marco Milanese, who has been playing quite a bit on that Omaha back line. The Owls with 1 victory, a defeat and 2 draws in league play so far. Shaft Brewer now attacking on that right side. We're looking to run toward that end line, cutting it across the face, and it's stabbed out of play. Good positive early action for the Owls down that right flank, and Shaft Brewer, who loves to motor up and down that right side, into it very early. Swung in on top of goal, and there's the first action for Lalo Delgado, who's kept those 3 clean sheets for the Hailstorm so far. They have tied a League One record. Of course, this league's only been going for several years, but still, it's been impressive. 3 straight clean sheets to begin a League One season, tying Union Omaha's 2021 squad, who also did the same to begin the year. Nobody has kept 4 in a row to start the season. Here's Luis Heel, and Heel unleashes and is very high and out for a goal kick. Luis Heel finding space down that left side, matched up with Rogers there. Arthur Rogers, Heel was able to shake him. By his standards, he would expect to do better there. Here's some yapping in the background. It is Pups at the Pitch night. Lots of furry friends in attendance. Let's see if Union Omaha can defend their turf. The first real time of asking this year. Again, their 2 previous home matches in the league this season played at Caniglia Field, the home pitch of the University of Nebraska-Omaha men's and women's soccer teams. Very nice surface. They enjoyed playing there, but as Don Casciato told us this week, it's not really our home. Their locker rooms are here at Werner Park. Their offices are here. So they are happy to be at home. It can be a challenge playing on this short, narrow pitch for the first time, even for the first time in a season if you played there in past years, as many of these Owls players did. We've seen in past years, sometimes it takes even Union Omaha some games to get used to their own home pitch. They don't get to train on this surface very often because of the baseball team that plays here as well, the Omaha Storm Chasers. And Casciato said they were able to train on it once this week. That was on Thursday. That was the first time they'd been on it this year, but he was positive about it, upbeat about it. He said he didn't think it would impact them too much. The pitch that they train on throughout preseason and for most of the year. Their practice facility is indoors, and he said it's a small pitch as well, so he feels that they'll be used to these dimensions. Alexis Suahi's had a strong start to the year along the back line, as has Junior Palacios. Those two have formed the spine of the defense at the center back spots. Connor Doyle started over 70 consecutive matches for Omaha. Long over the top for Noe Meza. The flag is up, offside. Noe Meza loves to ride that back shoulder of the last defender and see if he can catch that back line. He liked the idea from Doyle. Again, we saw the Owls the last 3 years under head coach Jay Mims often be very direct, especially here at home at Werner Park, because it is such a shorter pitch. Playing a different style and a different system under Dom Casciato, but seeing some directness early on again. Casciato said he wanted to retain the elements that worked well in past seasons for this squad. That's booted out into touch by Lalo Delgado. Omaha able to outnumber there in the center of the park. It's an interesting spot to watch in this match, because from the way they've set up their two teams, it looks like both sides are trying to flood the middle with as many bodies as possible and make it as difficult as possible for the other side to play their way through that middle of the park. So whichever team is able to consistently win those midfield duels will have a real upper hand tonight. Here's Arthur Rogers, always a threat to swing in something dangerous, whether from a free kick or from open play. Laid off by Billy King. Now the cross comes in low, all the way across the face, and it's scrambled clear. Rashid Nuhu was in some trouble there, but his defender's able to get it away. And you can see how frantic things can be on this small surface. So both back lines holding up so far. Tested by at least one dangerous cross each. J.P. Skierce is always a threat in the air. He's dropping deep at the start of this one. Long by Palacios, trying to switch it to the left, but too long, and that's, again, something you see early in the season here. Players underestimating how little space there is. Here's that cross a moment ago that caused some chaos in the back line. It was Shaft Brewer with the last-ditch intervention to save a goal. Great covering by Brewer. He plays out on that flank in the attacking phase of the game. Dom Casciato has talked about being very flexible with positioning. Owls able to win that in the middle of the pitch, and play is pulled back for a foul. Noe Meza was dribbling his way forward, and a card has been shown. It's the first of the match, and it goes to Stefan Lukic. So the Hailstorm, number 22, the first into the book tonight. Let's see the foul. Yeah, tugging back on the shirt of Skierce. The obvious call. Yellow card brought to you by Hale Varsity Club. So Lukic, one of the two forwards, started this one for Northern Colorado. Have to be careful the rest of the way tonight. Joe Brito. Neat little interplay with Heel. Rogers trying to dribble his way out of trouble. Turned it over to Dolabella. Loose ball. Nobody able to settle it. Now Shaft Brewer keeps it moving in the direction of Dolabella. And it was cut out. It'll be a throw for Omaha, and they want to get on with it quickly. Brewer right back in play to Dolabella. Easy take for Lalo Delgado in the end. Good attacking sequence from the Owls. Pedro Dolabella involved early. Again, scored against MLS side St. Louis City in midweek. If you haven't seen the goal, it was a really good finish from a seemingly impossible angle. Casciato talking about the confidence that should give Dolabella. Build that confidence further by inserting him into the starting 11 tonight. So look at Parliament behind that goal. They are always on that grass berm every match at Werner Park. I'll say hello to the Storm Chasers as well, who are watching this match, the supporters group for Northern Colorado. Great supporters groups around USL League One. Brandon Rosas looking to create something for Northern Colorado. Dispossessed by Heel. That ran out of play. It will be a throw. Well, Select is the official match ball supplier of USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Stefan Lukic pulling it back. That was a bit dangerous. Delgado. Bruno Rendon, who's gotten off to a great start this year. It was turned over, and Dolabella working his way forward, trying to slip in Joe Brito. It's Brito cutting it across, and it runs all the way through, and it's punched away by Delgado. Great chance for the Owls to open the scoring. Delgado again makes a crucial save. He preserves his season-long clean sheet for now. It was a terrific attacking sequence by the Owls down that right side, and then pulling it all the way across to the left. Out of his own area, plays it straight down the middle. That's the kind of thing the Owls can do from Nuhu's kicks. Now they're in business now, and Skiers. That low cross stabbed away. Milanese and Skiers. Switching it to Doyle. Meza is put under a little pressure there as the ball arrived to him. Now a chance for the Hailstorm to counter. Into the run of Brandon Rosas. Two black and volt shirts around him. Rosas intelligently squares it. Looking to line it up with the left and then seeking to thread it through. It'll be a free kick for Northern Colorado. Much to the Owls and the home fans' discontent. But the first set piece opportunity of the night belongs to the Hailstorm. We'll take a look at that Owls chance from a couple minutes ago first. Good ball for Brito. And a really good cutback that runs all the way through, and it was Heel on the end of it. Good save by Delgado. And this was the moment a moment ago that resulted in the free kick after the ball was gone. He's trying to thread in Destin Norman there. Valentin Sabella, the Argentine midfielder from Buenos Aires. So this is not really in a spot where you'd expect Arthur Rogers to try to deliver a telling cross the way he's done so many times the last couple of years. This is an area where you'd go for goal. Will Rogers do so? You can see the wind affecting that ball, blowing it off its initial spot. Rogers standing over it. It is Arthur Rogers, beaten away by Nuhu. Rogers got it through the wall. Nuhu was there at the far post. It stays 0-0, and both keepers have made a big stop early. Well hit. Nuhu had that post covered, though. Looking into that setting sun, that's not an easy save this time of the evening. Nuhu, as he's done so many times the last few years, with a crucial stop. Rogers now. Northern Colorado continuing this attack. That's a great ball, but it runs all the way through and out for a goal kick. Really good idea from Rogers. Again, shows his danger early on, but Rashid Nuhu, large in stature and large metaphorically for Union Omaha in their goal. One of their originals, one of the small number remaining from their first roster in 2020. Multiple-time award-winning goalkeeper in USL League One. Both sides claiming that throw. It goes to Northern Colorado. Good start to the game. Both sides showing lots of attacking intent. Both teams creating chances, and howls for a foul and for more than that, and the card is coming out. It is a second yellow, and it's a red for Stefan Lukic. He went into the book 7 minutes ago. He picks up a second yellow 15 minutes in. And with only a quarter of an hour on the clock, Northern Colorado are down to 10. Well, his first touch wasn't good, and referee left with no choice. He really can't have many complaints. And you can see how badly he feels. It's a Hale Varsity Club red card following a second yellow. He has to know that's a challenge you simply can't make when you're already on a yellow. Told somebody else was shown a yellow card as well. Well, it's a nightmare start for Stefan Lukic and for Northern Colorado. And big-time adversity for them now. Playing so many games away from home again at the start of this year, as they did last year. You see how distraught he is. It's such a terrible feeling to be sent off, especially this early in a game. And the yellow card was also shown to Enoch Kwakwa, apparently for his protests after the decision. Again, when you look at the two yellows, the first one, Lukic grabbed Skiers's jersey and tugged him back as he ran by him. That's going to be a yellow card just about every time, as the free kick nodded forward harmlessly to Delgado. And the second foul, the second yellow that we saw a moment ago, Lukic taking a bad first touch, losing the ball, and then went careening two-footed into that challenge. Took out the player with that trailing foot. Again, that's going to earn you a yellow card almost every time. Unfortunate from a neutral perspective, because again, the game had gotten off to such a great start with both teams really going for it. And now you suspect Northern Colorado are going to have to sit back a bit and try to defend much more. Now, Union Omaha played against 10 a number of times last year and often had a difficult time breaking down 10-man teams. They tended to do better, actually, when they were the ones down a player. This happened several times last year as well. They won 2 games in a row, in fact, last August and early September, after they had gone down to 10. See how they do against 10 men for the first time this year. Doyle. Now Heel looking to take and turn. Still Luis Heel. And he earns the first corner of the night. It will be a Modelo corner for Union Omaha. So on this first Modelo corner of the night, Luis Heel will play the outswinger. Skids it in low. It's booted forcefully out into touch by Breck Evans. Going to have to be a lot of that for the rest of the night, you suspect, for Northern Colorado as they try to dig in. I suspect they'll still be able to create some opportunities here and there, again, especially on this short pitch. But it is a much different game now. Another reason why this is an interesting scenario for Union Omaha, the last few years they were very used to having maybe 35 to 40% possession most nights. As Meza chests this down in the shadows. Tried to leave it behind for the overlap of Marco Milanese. He was dispossessed, and then the whistle goes for a foul and a free kick for the Hailstorm. So in the last few years under Jay Mims, the Owls were very accustomed to not having the ball the majority of the time, but they were often so lethal and so clinical in the chances that they could create off the counterattack. That was how they won so many games. Now under first-year head coach Dom Casciato, playing a much more possession-oriented style. Their first several league matches this year, it hasn't been uncommon to see them with 55 or 60% of the ball, as this free kick again goes to Northern Colorado. Well, when you're playing 11 against 10, you're going to have the bulk of the possession, and that was something that Omaha sometimes didn't look very comfortable with last year in those scenarios. You wonder if they'll be more comfortable in those kinds of situations this year. Again, this is the first time we've been able to test that hypothesis. 20 minutes gone, 0-0, but already one big moment in this match. And there is Dom Casciato, annoyed with something. Casciato, many years and many stops as an assistant, extremely well regarded. As Rogers pings this one toward the far side. Lots of jostling in the box, and right on top of the goal line, Rashid Nuhu, safe hands to pluck it out of the air, battling that setting sun. Battling Brandon Rosas as well. Owls looking to build through the middle, but not the best first touch that time by Dolabella. Delgado. That's not his best ball out of the back, and that's unlike him. He's been very calm and very assured. Had a chance to speak with Hailstorm assistant coach Colin Falvey during the week. And he said he gives calm and presence, and the guys trust him a lot. Makes that big save when he's called on, but consistently we know what we're going to get with him, and that's a confidence booster for the rest of the group. Does all the right things at the right time and keeps it calm for us. Colin Falvey raving about the effect that Delgado has had on the team so far this year. You would suspect he's going to have to make some more crucial stops as this one goes on, as long as his team are playing 10 against 11. But they go to the attack now. Bruno Rendon all the way across. Lots of room on that right side for Rogers. Rogers closed down. Now the flag has gone up. You see the assistant pointing the other direction, and Rogers and the Hailstorm baffled as to what that stoppage was for. Flag was raised as if it was an offside decision. And okay, a player was down behind the play. That's Shaft Brewer, it appears. Sure exactly what might have happened to Brewer, but we're midway through the first half. Brewer in his age 23 season. Still has plenty of room to develop, but he's really shone brightly on that right side, both in the second half of last year after the Owls acquired him and in the early going this season. Junior Palacios. Alexis Suahi. Aiming for Noe Meza. Runs all the way over and out. Well, don't miss a minute of the action in 2023, whether your club's on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN+, the home to the USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. earlier today, forward Madison and Charlotte Independence playing to a 0-0 draw. Some good chances in that game. Both keepers making lots of saves there. North Carolina with a 2-0 lead at Greenville Triumph in the 64th minute. Here's Noe Meza now for Omaha. Meza on his left, hoping to deliver across. Now Meza with his right, bends it just wide of that back post. Almost created something from nothing there. With the defender really tight to him, Meza did so well to get that shot away, and he was not far away. Meza in a race with Arthur Rogers. Rogers preventing him from putting that cross in, but Meza just able to wriggle that half yard of space, and he's really good at doing that. It can be difficult to tell, in general sometimes, but especially on this pitch with how narrow it is. It can be tough to tell whether a player is trying to shoot or trying to cross. I think that was a shot from Noe Meza, who scored once this year, has had some really good looks to score more than that. Of course, every striker misses chances. That's part of the game. Don Casciato saying that you only worry about a striker if they're not getting chances. As long as they're putting themselves in those good positions consistently, he knows those goals will start to arrive more frequently for Meza. Luis Gil. That Omaha back line under no pressing and no pressure. Northern Colorado dropping back with those 10 players. To defend as compactly as possible. Doyle had that stick under his foot. Did well to recover and play it to Brewer. JP Skiers. Heel and Doyle, one-touch soccer, but the last touch a bit too heavy, and it's all the way back for Nuhu. Yeah, Northern Colorado barely missing out on the playoffs last year. Needed results to go their way on the final day of the season when they were idle. In fact, they started that final match day of last year in that 6th position, which would have qualified for the postseason, but those other results did not go their way. And they finished out of the picture and out of the playoffs. We're very disappointed about that, of course. They did very well to be in with a chance on that last day. Got off to a tough start, but that was understandable, playing so many games away from home at the start of last year and having to do the same again as their stadium and facility has been under construction for the past couple of years. Very exciting project there in Northern Colorado, but it has forced them to play away from home so much. And last year when they were able to play at home, quote unquote, they still had to play at multiple different facilities around the Northern Colorado area. This year, their home opener scheduled for May 27th. They will start at the smaller stadium on their Future Legends complex. And then the main, larger stadium is slated to be ready by next year. And they hope that if they make the playoffs this season, that the stadium might be ready for a possible playoff match. We'll see. But it has created adverse and challenging scheduling for them their first 2 seasons here in League One. And assistant coach Colin Falvey telling us this week that before this season, Ayman Zayed got the team together and gave them a points goal from these opening 6 matches in the league season. More on that in a moment as Heel able to spin and keep it for Brito. Joe Brito advancing forward. 3 white shirts around him. Brito trying to create something from it, not able to win a throw. Good defending by the Hailstorm again, who are surviving so far with 10. Yeah, but the Hailstorm, they have a points target from these initial 6 road games. They're halfway through that with having played the first 3 and not lost yet. Delgado under some pressure from Skiers, able to work that up the pitch and did well. So Colin Falvey said he wasn't going to tell us exactly what that points goal was, as that's a foul and a free kick. He said they've been really pleased and proud with how the team has handled that challenge so far and how they've embraced it. And today, with the 2 yellows and therefore the red to Stefan Lukic in the first 15 minutes. Turning into another challenge and another piece of adversity for them to embrace. Doing pretty well so far. That's offside. Here's Deshaun Beard, our center referee tonight. Assistant referees are Eric Wood, Amax Smith, fourth official Jacob Larson. Noe Meza. Marco Milanese. That was cut out by Rogers, who got his foot to it. Billy King. Had a terrific start to this year. Long ball into the Omaha box. Cleared by Alexis Suwahi and Brewer. And not believing he didn't get a foul called there, Enoch Kwakwan. He has to be careful because he's on a yellow already, remember. Last thing Northern Colorado can afford is to go down to 9. Kwakwa was cautioned when Lukic was shown that second yellow earlier, and now it looks like Eamon Zayed's been shown a card as well. So the Northern Colorado head coach in the book also, we believe. Eamon Zayed, who wore sweaters for all of Northern Colorado's early season matches last year before abandoning it as the weather heated up. Milanese, back post over the head of Dolabella and out. And there's the confirmation that it was Eamon Zayed shown the yellow. So Lukic sent off for 2 yellows, Kwakwa on a yellow. And now Eamon Zayed on a yellow also. And Zayed just a couple years out of playing, long playing career. We talked about it last year. If you're unfamiliar with his playing career, lots of time in USL with Indy 11 and others. Meza hustling after this one. He's going to get there first. Meza, now Heel. Luis Heel's cross, cut out. Enoch Kwakwa then almost lost out to Meza. But kept moving, and now the Hailstorm trying to sprint away. Billy King, space in the center circle. Nice calm work for Arthur Rogers. These little moments for Northern Colorado, even though they don't look like much, really critical when you're playing down a man, and especially when there's still so much game time left. Still an hour or so to play tonight, as Delgado just gets rid of that ahead of Dolabella. Rogers towering to win that header. That's another moment that's important. You keep that ball moving in your team's favor, even though it doesn't result in anything in an attacking sense, as Suwahi clips this out of play. No, Brewer keeps it in play, excuse me. No, it did go out. It is a throw for Northern Colorado. So that header that Rogers won a couple moments ago results in an attacking throw for his team. That's why those little moments are so critical, especially when you're down a man, trying to hang in, give your back line a breather when they're under so much pressure. You need to win those little 50-50 headers and battles. Be able to keep the ball in those little pockets of space, calm things down, take some of the air out of the game, take some of the attacking momentum away from the home side, from the home fans. Those are the kinds of cagey, savvy plays that can earn you a big result in a tough situation like this. Ball apparently a bit behind Bruno Rendon, who wasn't able to command it, and it just ekes across the end line for a goal kick. Well, Paco Craig leads Miami FC into Kentucky to face Josh Winder and the reigning Eastern Conference winners, Louisville City FC. Don't miss the start of the new season of the USL on ESPN. That's Saturday, May 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Joshua Winder called up to the U.S. men's national team for the first time a couple weeks ago when they played Mexico, of course. Very exciting for him, of course, and for USL. One of those milestone moments. It's Omaha playing against 10, continuing to ask most of the questions, as you'd expect. Northern Colorado holding firm so far. posing some threat themselves on the counter. Luis Heel. Going to scoop it in the direction of Meza, who acrobatically tried to take it out of the air but wasn't able to do so. Omaha throw in that attacking third. Taken quickly. Heel. Dolabella returns it to Heel, trying to lob it over the top. That was a handball, free kick. And again, Enoch Kwakwa. That reaction from him. It's okay to not like a call. It's okay to disagree with it. But you have to be so careful about dissent. He's already been booked for it. And that's a couple times since then where he's reacted really strongly. It does clip his arm. And again, handball can be so debatable, and it can be such a gray area these days. So you can certainly argue, but again, you've got to be so careful. Your team is already down one, and you're on a yellow. Arthur Rogers, I think, trying to calm him down. Rogers wearing the captain's armband tonight, with Rob Cornwall not in the 18. Meanwhile, Noe Meza around this free kick. And it's Suwahi who drills it into the back of the net. It's a golazo. And it's Junior Palacios who thunders it home. Oh, Palacios absolutely belted it. And it fooled Delgado, and I'm not sure he would have had a chance anyway. Meza looked like he was going to take it. He was the decoy. What a hit, Junior Palacios. Second free kick goal of the year for the Owls. Joe Gallardo scored the other one. That was spectacular. Well, the first of the year for Palacios, and he won't hit many better than that. Goal brought to you by Nebraska Lottery, and the Owls go in immediate search of a second. It's Heel by the end line, pulling it back. Wouldn't quite fall to either Brito or Meza. Arthur Rogers then just tugged and fouled. Well, for the first time this year, Colorado, Northern Colorado that is, have conceded a goal in league play. Clean sheets in their first 3 matches. But now, down a goal and down a man. Still with a lot of game to play. The difficult situation gets much more challenging now. It's offside. Well, Union Omaha now want to put this game to bed. And gotten themselves in front with a bit to go before halftime. They do not want to let Northern Colorado hang around. Palacios, great ball for Brewer. Excellent first touch as well. Brewer with a good left-footed cross, and it hit Meza on the neck. And the chance is gone. Well, Noe Meza is capable of winning headers and scoring headers. Scored a couple of those last year, but got it all wrong that time. Wasn't an issue of height there. Actually misjudged the ball and was up above it instead of underneath it. Can be tough to see. It's one of those pitches where the sun is a real factor especially in the first half of games here. Dolabella, what a good ball. It's Luis Heel. Rogers did just enough to force him to check back. Heel looked like he was through for a moment. Now he does play it through for Dolabella. What a save. Lalo Delgado keeps his side in it for now. And Dolabella, who scored against St. Louis City midweek, thought he had a second. Delgado stayed down. I think he made that save with his face. What a good ball. Dolabella hit it first time. Yeah, I think that was a chin save by Delgado. Well, Lalo Delgado's clean sheet string may be gone, but he's still making crucial saves. Ball back in play now, and the Owls hollering for a penalty. They thought that was in the box and that it was a foul. Now play is stopped as Dolabella stays down. Well, let's see it again. Was there enough in this for a penalty? Dolabella is clearly in the box. Well, the old cliche, you've seen them given, you've also seen them not given. Was not given that time. Elsewhere around League One, they're in the 81st minute. North Carolina FC still leading Greenville 2-0 in Greenville. NCFC continuing to impress. They were top of the table coming in. They would be top of the table with Charlotte Independence as things currently stand. Charlotte earning a point on the road against Forward Madison in a 0-0 draw, with both keepers making good saves in that one. South Georgia Tormenta beginning the night on 9 points. The start of their match against Richmond Kickers has been delayed by weather. Chattanooga Red Wolves and Lexington SC, they are 0-0 early in the second half, with Chattanooga in search of a home result to kickstart their season. Lexington, who have played well so far, but haven't quite gotten the results they felt their play has deserved. Hoping to pick up points on the road tonight. Arthur Rogers. The Hailstorm are going to get something from this game against the odds. You suspect it's going to come off his right foot. Perhaps from an assist, of which he had 8 last year. Pressuring the ball down in that corner. And trying to win a corner, but could not. Brendan Rosas joining him. Good work by Rogers and Rosas, but it doesn't pay off this time. It was Rogers who came the closest to scoring for Northern Colorado before they were reduced to 10. It was his free kick about a minute before that second yellow to Stefan Lukic that forced Rashid Nuhu to beat it away. Shaft Brewer trying to take that in stride, had to chase it down by the corner flag, and it runs out. Couple minutes to go until halftime. We'll see how much time we have added on at the end of this opening 45. Indication should be forthcoming in about a minute or so. Billy King, Arthur Rogers. And then belted from distance. That's not too far away. Ambitious left-footed effort. It was really well hit. King leaving it. I think that was Sabea. Not afraid to have a hit with his left. Let's see why. That was dangerous. Again, it may take something special. Northern Colorado to rally tonight. But they are capable of that. Luis Heel serving it for Dolabella, nodding it down for Skiers. Now Brewer. His cross blocked. Good sliding block. Bruno Rendon cutting out that cross at the expense of a Modelo corner. We're going to have an additional 4 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. Luis Heel again takes it. He's been taking most of their set pieces this year. Lofted back post over everybody. Kept in play by Milanese. Toward Noe Meza. And then it's Doyle and Meza. Well, Connor Doyle scored from outside the box once last year. He has a good right foot, and Jay Mims, the head coach at the time, was encouraging him to shoot more late last season. I think the block was from Rogers, and it fell to Meza, who scuffed his shot. Everybody looking in that direction, having to shield their eyes from the setting sun. Breck Evans. Delgado knew exactly how much time he had before Meza swarmed on him. Kwak. It's a good sequence for Northern Colorado. Billy King. Rogers in all kinds of space on the right. Chose not to use him, and Rogers, you could see how frustrated he was by that. Now here's King again. And the Hailstorm creates something before half. It's Rogers with the low cross, loose along the deck, but Nuhu sprawls on top. Brandon Rosas in the vicinity. Again, it's Rogers creating the danger. I think that took a deflection initially. Suwahi was there. Might have come off him last. Maybe came off Rosas' foot as well. See Doyle having to shield his eyes as he tries to pick a pass forward. Junior Palacios, the scorer of that thunderbolt goal in the 35th minute. Slipping, but it falls to Brito. What a great ball that is for Brewer. Took his eye off it briefly and then tries to swing in the cross. Goes back post, back toward Meza. Meza's bicycle kick! Oh, that's spectacular! An early goal of the season candidate from Noe Meza, who gets on his bike and puts Omaha ahead 2-0. Absolutely special. Look at this chest down. Look at this hit. Look at that goal. You'll want to see that over and over again. Hello, Football Americas. Hello, Top 10. Hello, everybody. That is a world-class goal. It is brought to you by Nebraska Lottery, who certainly get their money's worth with that. What a moment right before halftime. It puts Omaha in firm command of this. 2 goals up and a man up. Final seconds run out of this half. Alexis Suwahi. We've had the 4 minutes. We did have the goal, of course, which usually adds about another 30 seconds or so. Palacios. He'll probe for a third as long as they're allowed to. Here is Meza. Heel. Runs past everyone. And it's across the end line, and it will be a corner, but there won't be time to take it. That's the end of the first half. What a last 10 minutes for the Owls. Palacios in the 35th. Meza in added time. A terrific ending to what was a really good 45 for the home side. A nightmare first half for Northern Colorado. They were reduced to 10 in 15 minutes. As Stefan Lukic saw 2 yellows in quick succession. It took a while for the Owls to break down that defense. And again, it took something special twice to do it. But something special is exactly what they delivered. They're happy, the home fans are happy, and we'll take a look at our highlights from this first half. We'll look at highlights from action last week and in US Open Cup action from around USL League One. All kinds of stuff coming up on our Courtyard by Marriott La Vista Conference Center halftime show, which begins in a moment. 45 minutes gone, 45 to play. Union Omaha leading Northern Colorado Hailstorm by 2-0.
My name is Yoskar Galvin. I'm a midfielder for Union Omaha. I mean, it was exciting because at first I really didn't think I was gonna get schooling, but my mom was pressuring me, and obviously I pressured myself to get my studies done because it's really important to me and my family. So right now I'm trying to get my generals out of the way and try to figure out what I want to do. I want to get my minor, obviously, and then try to see how I want to do my master's, but that's just been my goal since I was a little kid, and my parents' goal, my parents' dream, and that's the dream that I want to fulfill for them. And obviously playing professional and having school is just an amazing thing. I mean, getting school for free is an amazing feat, and obviously getting it from your team and just Bellevue being so supportive. I mean, every counselor, every helper for the school has been helpful a lot, and I've been learning. My name is Yoskar, and I'm a Bellevue University student.
Bags are packed, are you ready to go? This time tomorrow we'll be on the road, riding with you in the sunnier days. I wouldn't want it any other way. Home is with you wherever that may be.
A beautiful look at the downtown skyline here in Omaha as we welcome you into the Courtyard by Marriott La Vista Conference Center halftime show. And we begin with a look around all kinds of action around League One and League One teams in action in the US Open Cup over the past week plus. Lots of games to get to. Let's show you highlights of those right now.
The result that his keeper back, but had 2 important players come off, so concerning no doubt, but ultimately they got the win.
Players come off, so concerning no doubt, but ultimately they got the win.
And Tormenta gets one, Cassini.
Steinwasser. Ball bouncing in front and off his line. Loot. Pirouetting. Dolabella. Steinwasser. Ball bouncing in front and off his line. Loot. Pirouetting. Dolabella. From no angle at all.
Lukic plays it down the line. Hailstorm looking to level things up here before half as this is crossed over. Dietrich goes down and gets the open. Klikic plays it down the line. Hailstorm looking to level things up here before half as this is crossed over. Dietrich goes line. Hailstorm looking to level things up here before half as this is crossed over. Dietrich goes down and gets the opening goal for the Hailstorm.
And those are the numbers, and that's the commitment that we were just mentioning a moment ago. It's finding that entry.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Back at Werner Park, Union Omaha with that 2-goal lead over Northern Colorado Hailstorm. Halftime presented by Omaha La Vista, Courtyard by Marriott. Let's look at news and notes from around USL League One. As our news from around the league sees the departure of President Jake Edwards, concluding a remarkable 10-year tenure. 10-year tenure, that is. 8 as president. Amazing how far the league has come under his leadership. A dozen academy signings. North Carolina FC signing 12 academy players to academy contracts, all eligible to play first-team matches while maintaining college eligibility. So many USL League One clubs becoming such factories of talent. Lucas Coutinho named Player of the Week after his first pro brace and an assist in Greenville's 6-point Week 6. Remember, they beat Central Valley Fuego 3-0, and then they won on the road at Lexington SC later in the week. Let's look at scores from around the rest of USL League One tonight. Lots of good action as Forward Madison and Charlotte Independence played to a 0-0 draw. It was Greenville falling at home to North Carolina FC. That was 2-1. Greenville with a late consolation, but 2 first-half penalties by North Carolina FC, enough for them to take yet another victory. They are red hot. Richmond Kickers, an early goal against Tormenta. That game was delayed by weather, but they're underway now, and a good start for the visitors as they try to get their season on track. Chattanooga and Lexington, 0-0 in the 68th, as both sides look for a late winner there. Our upcoming schedule, meanwhile, tomorrow on ESPN+, Central Valley Fuego and 1 Knoxville SC. Those are 2 clubs that really need a result. That's a big game, critical game in both of their early seasons. And then on Wednesday, 1 Knox at home to Forward Madison. Friday sees Chattanooga playing South Georgia Tormenta. And next Wednesday, Charlotte Independence and Greenville, Richmond and Union Omaha, Central Valley Fuego and North Carolina FC. Lots of action throughout next week, all on ESPN+. In just a moment, we'll come back with highlights and stats from our first half And I suspect we'll see 2 outstanding goals among those highlights for the home side. More on the Omaha La Vista Courtyard by Marriott halftime show and your second half coming up next.
I think the thing I'm most looking forward to is working with the players on a day-to-day basis and building the team. I think first and foremost it's about building a style and seeing a team that really reflects, what we want here in Omaha. So making sure that everybody is on the same page, making sure everyone works together, making sure that everyone understands their role and gives everything in every game. It's a group that's won. Right? It's an experienced group of quality players that's won. And I think you've got a nice mix of youth and experience there. Guys that know the league, guys that know what it takes to win in this league. So just really looking forward to working with them. I think the first thing is a really identifiable style. A team that plays with a clear system where anybody can come, watch the game and say, okay, I can see what they're trying to do today. I can see what the coach's ideas are, I can see the quality of the players. So I think just having that identity being really, really strong is super important. I think if you talk about on the pitch or in the changing room, you're looking at a mentality where everybody puts the team above their own needs, right? And where everybody is willing to sacrifice their own desires for what's best for the team.
My name is Connor Doyle and I'm a midfielder with Union Omaha. I was excited. It was obviously not a big reason why I came here, but Jay mentioned it as being a possibility of once joining the team, it was going to be a partnership with the club, and getting towards the end of my career, it was obviously a thing that I wanted to look towards finishing my degree, and so with a chance of getting a scholarship and kind of getting those things paid for, it was definitely pretty exciting and special. Like I said, I'm kind of nearing the end of my career in the next few years, and so it's kind of looking forward to that next step in life, and degrees go a big way in helping people make those next steps, so it's kind of the reason why I decided to finally get back into it. It's a big deal, because there's guys like Yoskar who have the chance to kind of go pro at 18, but also you could go to a college and get a 4-year degree and maybe have a scholarship that way, but this gets things paid for, and he can be in a professional environment from a young age and learn. And so I think that's a big deal in terms of getting guys up through kind of the academy and stuff, and you can still promise them a degree and an education along with being in a professional environment. My name is Connor Doyle, and I am a Bellevue University student.
Getting set for the second half here in Papillion. 2-0 Union Omaha leading Northern Colorado Hailstorm. Let's see our highlights from those opening 45 minutes. It was certainly an eventful 45 between the Owls and Hailstorm. In the 7th minute, it was Northern Colorado with their first meaningful attack of the match. Arthur Rogers, and then a cross put in that caused some chaos at the back for Omaha. It was Shaft Brewer after Billy King played it out wide for the cross. And it was swung in by Valentin Sabella, and it was Shaft Brewer making the crucial sliding challenge. Then Arthur Rogers put this one on target from the free kick. Rashid Nuhu doing really well to see that around his wall and cover his far post. And then just a minute later, the game changed. From a throw-in, Stefan Lukic had been carded 7 minutes earlier, went careening into that challenge, was shown a second yellow and a red, and Northern Colorado down to 10. They hung in well with those 10 men for 20 minutes, but they couldn't do anything about this. A free kick by Junior Palacios that he absolutely leathered into that side netting. What a goal. And that wouldn't even be the best goal of the half because Noe Meza one-upped him right at the end of the half. Shaft Brewer looked like that ball was going to run out of play, but was able to stand it up back post. Dolabella helping it along, and what a goal by Noe Meza. First the chest down, the full bicycle kick. You see that in the movies. Very few players pull that off in a real game. But Noe Meza couldn't have done it any better. 57% possession in the first half for Union Omaha. Lots of shots. These stats brought to you by the Simple Man. And the yellow cards for Northern Colorado really costing them. They have Enoch Kwakwa on a card. Their head coach Eamon Zayed has been shown a card. I believe somebody else on their bench was shown a card at the end of the first half as well. So what could Northern Colorado do in this second half to try to stabilize things and find some unlikely route back into this game? Certainly lots of strange things can and do happen in this league. It would be quite a comeback for them. They have made 2 changes at halftime. Lucky Opera has come on for Valentin Sabella. Trevor Ammon has come on as well. Ammon in for Brandon Rosas, but it's Omaha straight to the attack. Still playing 11 on 10. Joe Brito sliding it right for Dolabella. Dolabella had to slide to keep the ball in. Wasn't able to deliver a meaningful cross, but the Owls beginning the second half as they ended the first, very much on the front foot with that man advantage. Milanese after this, put out for a throw. I'm sure that'll please Dom Casciato, less than a minute into the second half. No sign of complacency with this 2-goal lead and this man advantage for Union Omaha. Suspect they were told during halftime, let's put this thing away as early as possible in the second half. Not let Northern Colorado hang around and develop any feeling or belief that they could get back into this game. Arthur Rogers, again, when they were able to create danger in that first half, it often came from his right foot, as you would expect. Very difficult situation for them. But on this short pitch, you never know. Games can change very quickly. In soccer in general, but here in particular. Lucky Opera, his first involvement. Now Billy King. He's been a good creative force for them so far this year. Probably need him to create something in this second half. Here he drags back Noe Meza. Advantage played by the referee, and Joe Brito put it on target. Lalo Delgado beats it down and then collects. Delgado made some good saves in the first half despite conceding 2. The 2 that he conceded were both of the spectacular nature. He saved everything you would expect him to save, including one with his chin at point-blank range. It's going to run out for a goal kick. And Stefan Lukic sent off in the 15th minute. He was one of those players that Colin Falvey named during midweek who had made such a good start to this year. Falvey had said that he'd played a big part early in the season, playing in different roles, helping them calm things down in possession. But did the opposite of that, unfortunately, tonight. This is a good run, though, as Northern Colorado looking to create some end product from it. Trevor Ammon on the end of it, able to put it on goal, but easy take for Rashid Nuhu. Initial run from Bruno Rendon. Rendon's been great in that fullback position for Northern Colorado. Native of Cuba. Looking for a free kick, the Hailstorm, and they get one. This isn't a promising position for them. It is a card as well for Junior Palacios, who now has a goal and a booking tonight. He's the first Union Omaha player shown a caution. Again, if Northern Colorado were to haul themselves back into this game in unlikely fashion, that's the kind of way it could happen. Win a set piece, draw a card, maybe put Omaha in a position to be reduced to 10 themselves at some point. Again, in these claustrophobic close quarters, it can sometimes be easier, sometimes more difficult to get your angles right from a set piece delivery. You see those low skidding balls in pose special danger here sometimes. Here goes Rogers, trying to curl it back post. Heads rise, it just wouldn't fall, and now it's sent off the post. Oh, it redirected and it hit the upright, and it bounces out for a goal kick. And Northern Colorado that close to pulling a goal back. It initially looked like Rogers' delivery had overshot everyone, but it was able to find a head. And then it came down to Billy King, who mishit it completely, but it almost turned into a perfect assist. That was Trevor Ammon, who was able to instinctively flick it and nearly found the inside of the net. Another free kick for the Hailstorm, and so some warning signs for Union Omaha now. You see Trevor Ammon clapping his hands. Some encouragement for the visitors that this game is not at all done yet. Quick restart. Nice little step over. Now the cross delivered. Stood up toward the back post. Nodded down. Falls on the edge of the box. Still not fully clear, and then Palacios boots it away. First time Union Omaha have been under some sustained pressure tonight. That pressure then relieved on the foul against Bruno Rendon. Quite a last few minutes in that Chattanooga-Lexington match. Meanwhile, Lexington took the lead a couple minutes ago. Chattanooga have just pulled it right back, and it's 1-1 now with about 10 minutes to play there. Here the Junior Palacios laser in the 35th minute from a free kick. Then the Noe Meza bicycle kick. And first half stoppage time, giving the Owls this 2-goal lead. Luis Heel has that easily cut out. And the foul committed by Suwahi. Well, the Pups approving of what they've seen from the home side so far on Pups at the Pitch night at Werner Park. The Owls with substitutes warming up in the foreground wearing those Volt warm-up tops. Alex Steinwasser, Dion Akoff, Giovanni Willis, Luca Mastrantonio, Joe Gallardo, Ian McGrain, Steven Dos Santos, all available off the bench. Flicked along, tricky ball to deal with for Suwahi, but deal with it he did, and Skiers finds the run of Brewer, and Shaft Brewer has plenty of space to motor forward with his great speed. Brewer has Brito short, instead the step over, and here's Brewer continuing by the end line, pulls it back, it's Brito! And it's beaten away by Delgado again. Great move by the Owls. Trying to find that third goal that would just about end this game as a contest, you'd think. Heel. It's Meza. Is he onside? Doesn't matter. Noe Meza, uncharacteristically, well, apparently that was poked out and it'll be a corner. I thought Meza had just skied it completely over the bar. Apparently it came off the defender's shoe. Let's see it again. Now this was the chance a moment ago as Brewer did so well to get himself to the end line. What a step over by Heel to leave it for Joe Brito. And then Meza with Northern Colorado thinking he was offside. And yeah, you see Arthur Rogers getting back to poke it over the crossbar and prevent Meza teeing up his second goal of the night. So it's Heel with the Modelo corner kick. Curls it back post, punched away by Delgado. Doyle takes it down. Shaft Brewer. What a ball for Heel. What a touch by Heel. He couldn't keep it in play. That's a great skill on display. Meanwhile, in Chattanooga, the Red Wolves have scored another. And they lead Lexington 2-1 now in the 84th minute. So Kim opened the scoring for Lexington in the 78th there, then Nico Cardona in the 80th, and then Mensah in the 82nd for Chattanooga. So they had 3 goals in 4 minutes. 2-1 Red Wolves. Here 2-0 Owls. And Meza with the back heel flick, and Doyle from distance trying to chip the keeper and didn't quite get the chip right. Well, he spotted Lalo Delgado well off his line. He was right about that. And now at the other end, it's Billy King. And King pulls it back for the first time effort by Ammon. And Trevor Ammon unable to find the target. It's a surprisingly wide open game though. This is the kind of situation where you suspect the Union Omaha of the past few years would have just tried to set up shop and close down all the doors and angles and just try to see it out. This Omaha team not built as much to do that. They want to entertain, they want to continue to come forward and score goals. And it's a back and forth game now. It's Brewer. Now Heel. And the overlap is Meza, there's 3. Second for Meza, third for Union Omaha. And the Owls have clear daylight now. It's another great team goal. Less spectacular in the finish. This one just needed a routine passing into the net, but it was the buildup that was so great. Heel, and then Meza. Near posts, nothing Delgado could do. Luis Heel's been class tonight. He's gone under the radar because of the spectacular strikes his teammates have produced. But Noe Meza, I told you he'd missed chances earlier this year, but he kept getting in those spots, and that was why Dom Casciato said he wasn't concerned about him. And Noe Meza with the bicycle kick at the end of the first half. Nebraska Lottery finish again for his second of the night. Union Omaha appear to be headed for all 3 points tonight, even with over half an hour to play. Well, the Owls still want more. They have plenty of time to get more. Here's Skierce. Overhit the cross. After a brief flurry from the Hailstorm at the start of this second half where they threatened to pull a goal back and really make this a much more fascinating contest, even though they continue to play with 10. Remember, Trevor Ammon hit the post with that flicked header. Could have made it 2-1 in the 50th minute. But instead, it just turned out to be another indication that it is just not apparently Northern Colorado's night. All the major moments have gone against them. Arthur Rogers' early effort that was saved by Nuhu. There's that cross into the box that created some chaos, but Shaft Brewer had the last-ditch sliding tackle to prevent a tap-in. The yellow cards to Stefan Lukic. All moments that change games, and they all went against Northern Colorado tonight. To say nothing of the goals that the Owls have actually scored, which, again, all top class. Long ball now into the path of Milanese. Marco Milanese keeps it in, swings it to the top of the box. Brito tried to take and flick. And then it's missed, and Trevor Ammon is in for Northern Colorado. Ammon to pull one back, and he does. A gift from Union Omaha, and Trevor Ammon accepts it gratefully. And the Hailstorm do have a goal. Still a half an hour to go. It's 3-1. Well, the Owls had everything completely under control. They were searching for a fourth goal. And then suddenly this happened. Junior Palacios, having scored that spectacular goal in the first half, tried to take it out of the air and missed completely. And Trevor Ammon, who again hit the post 10 minutes ago, wasn't going to miss this time. The Owls go right back in search of another, and they earn a throw by the corner flag. Well, you thought it was over at 3-0. Not so fast. Here's Doyle across the face and punched out by Delgado. Not sure if that fooled him a bit. And again, tough to tell whether that was an attempted cross or shot from this angle. Comes all the way through. Not sure that would have been on target. Noe Meza was lurking though. A Modelo corner for Union Omaha. Delivered by Heel. Punched on goal with the head, if there's such a thing. A forehead punch, you could say. Delgado with one of his simpler saves of the night. Oh, that's a slack ball back. Northern Colorado just getting away with that. Both teams looking shaky in defense at the moment. This ball intended for Ammon, too far. But Trevor Ammon has certainly brightened things up in the attack for Northern Colorado since coming on at halftime. Ammon, remember, I'm sure you remember if you're a Northern Colorado fan, he scored the only hat trick in their brief history last year. One of 3 native Coloradans on their roster this season. Heel almost got caught there. Some shaky moments from the Owls. Still in a great position, up 2 goals and up a man. Have to be careful that they don't let Northern Colorado fully back in this match. Referee's whistle stops that throw. Looks like it's a throw awarded to Union Omaha. Bad throw-in, apparently. Don't see that called too often. Doesn't mean it's the wrong call, though. So the Owls accepting that. And now Marco Milanese told to take it again. Dolabella and Brito. Joe Brito trying to wrap his foot around it. We've seen him score goals like that, capable of curling the ball with that right foot of his. Not able to get the curl and precision on that one. And if it's your first time watching a game at Werner Park, some of these shots that are taken, you might kind of tilt your head a bit because they can look a little strange. Meanwhile, here's Enoch Kwakwa making good progress between the lines, trying to slip through his teammate Bruno Rendon. Didn't quite work out, but it's going to be a free kick for the visitors. As Kwakwa tugged back. And the Hailstorm continuing to show they're not going to go away. Well, it looked like they very well might. Again, they had not conceded a goal in their first 3 league matches this year. They had beaten defending champion Tormenta 3-0 away from home. They scored 3 at Colorado Springs in the Open Cup. A couple of very solid 0-0 draws at Richmond, which is always a very tough place to go. Also drew at Chattanooga, which is not an easy place to play either. They've been a very resilient looking team. different circumstances tonight, but Arthur Rogers standing over this. It is Rogers, and it's Nuhu. Not sure if that ultimately was quite on frame. Might have been going just wide, but another good hit from Arthur Rogers. Unsurprisingly. That might have crept inside that far post. Nuhu couldn't take a chance. 25 minutes of the 90 remaining.
And there's only 10 more minutes for vodka lemonades, everybody. Don't be looking for me at 76 minutes because I won't be here.
Well, you heard the man. Only 10 more minutes for those special lemonades, apparently. This is a goal kick for Northern Colorado. Overall, it's been a night to celebrate for Union Omaha so far. If they could see out these final 25 minutes plus, it would be a result to toast for them, especially for Noe Meza with his 2 goals. Northern Colorado showing that they can still create danger and create goals, even down a man. Another free kick for them here, and a yellow card to Marco Milanese. So Milanese and Palacios are both in the book for the Owls. I do wonder if that's on Dom Casciato's mind. You can see some substitutes are being readied there in the foreground a moment ago as we see that foul and that booking. Destin Norman, the man who was fouled by Milanese. Hail Varsity Club yellow card, of course. Milanese under this, able to flick it away. Heel kept that in play. Rogers looked like he was going to be dispossessed, but somehow presses through that, and Arthur Rogers keeps on going and wins another free kick. And another card, this one to Noe Meza. That momentum just slowly inching in Northern Colorado's favor as this second half goes on. They've pulled 1 goal back. Still have the final quarter of this match in which to really make this uncomfortable for the home side. We're about to make a change with Joe Gallardo about to replace Joe Brito, we're being told, but that hasn't happened yet. Steven Dos Santos is going to come on for Noe Meza meanwhile, and here is the change of Gallardo in for Brito. So it's a Joe for Joe change with Gallardo replacing Brito and Dos Santos for Meza, who picking up that yellow card may have cost himself a shot at a hat trick tonight, but still a terrific performance by him. But work to do for the Omaha defense here. Swung in by Rogers, good delivery, and it loops over and out. Well, a typically delicious ball in from Arthur Rogers, and it really needed a better finish than that. Who did that come off last? Was that Leo Fola? I mean, look at this. That is so inviting. It was actually Lucky Opera. It came over his teammate's head, and I think Opera may have lost sight of it for a moment. That was a chance. It's a great chance. Opera was all alone. Just needed to volley it on target. Probably would have scored. Sometimes those balls that get delivered toward your midsection are tricky as an attacker. Not quite sure whether it's high enough to be able to head it, maybe with a stooping or diving header, or whether you should try to volley it at waist level, which isn't that easy. The Owls trying to put this game to bed again with the fourth. Runs out in front of Heel. Paulo Delgado. Pedro Dolabella still pressing in the 70th minute. He's been tireless up front for the Owls, even though he hasn't been on the score sheet tonight. Lost by King, taken by Gallardo, his first touch of the night. You can see how well Luis Heel acts as a fulcrum there in the midfield for Omaha. And now it's Shaft Brewer. Has Gallardo making the run and tries to use him, but overhit it. And a goal kick. Ball into the path of Ammon. The flag stays down. Trevor Ammon has scored once, hounded by a couple defenders. Opera. Hailstorm forced to play it all the way back. Rogers, though, looking for a free kick. They don't get one this time. Owls looking to spring a counter. Skiers and Heel. Good ball. Dolabella didn't quite reach him. The combination play that Union Omaha are increasingly capable of. Really fun to watch. Palacios found himself in a tricky situation there with two around him, but calmly was able to roll it back to Nuhu. Doyle. Brewer. Luis Heel. Fine ball for Milanese. Milanese's cross. Didn't quite find Gallardo. Referee has stopped play, and we're going to have a substitution for Northern Colorado. Jackson Dietrich coming in. So is Marky Hernandez, who's been a super sub for them the last couple of years. Hernandez replacing Leo Fola. There's Dolabella battling by the corner. Rogers in the way. Jackson Dietrich replaced Destin Norman in the midfield for Northern Colorado. Marky Hernandez, guy who scored off the bench twice already this year. He did it in the Open Cup against Colorado Springs. He also did it against Tormenta. Guy who's often been utilized off the bench to provide a late attacking spark the last couple of years. Here he is on the right side as Ammon accepts this. Hernandez makes himself available, and it's at his feet now. Marky Hernandez. Thought his teammate was going to make a run down that left side. Northern Colorado claiming it skimmed off Brewer's head. But the referee says goal kick. Chattanooga added another late goal, and they beat Lexington 3-1. So what a last 15 minutes of that game. That was 0-0 until the 78th minute. Lexington grabbed the lead. Chattanooga then scored twice in 2 minutes. Added a third late on. Good win for the Red Wolves and a needed win for them. Earlier, North Carolina FC held off Greenville 2-1 on the road. Another great win for North Carolina. Continue to show what a vastly improved team they are this year. After finishing bottom of the league the last 2 seasons, they look like real contenders in the early going in 2023. It's 3-0 Richmond over Tormenta, meanwhile, in South Georgia. Big statement by the kickers thus far in that one, as they've gotten off to a slow start this season, but outstanding opening 45 from them tonight after that game was delayed by weather for a while. Here's Gallardo. Skims off ahead. Wouldn't fall to Dolabella. Stabbed at by Heel. Milanese. Dolabella. Dolabella's cross. And it's put wide. Defended away, actually. Didn't quite reach Steven Dos Santos. Volleyed clear by Bruno Rendon, only as far as Doyle. 15 minutes of the 90 left. Union Omaha, you wouldn't totally say it's comfortable, but still in a commanding position. See Dion Akoff getting ready to come in. Bottom of your screen in just a moment. Heel volleying it along. Dos Santos after it. Cleared before it could reach him. Dion Akoff is replacing Marco Milanese. As that change is made now. Milanese, one of those players on a yellow. Dom Casciato not taking chances with that. Meza was on a yellow and was subbed off. Milanese on a yellow, he goes off as well. Only Junior Palacios still on the pitch with a yellow card for Union Omaha. He's a center back. You don't usually substitute your center back if you can avoid it. So that's expected. The other two that he could change, Dom Casciato does. Wants to make sure this ends 11-on-10 in their favor. Gallardo. Always electric on the ball. One-touch soccer continues. And now Dolabella's out on the right. He has Dos Santos in the middle. Dolabella with the step over. And now Doyle. Great sliding block. Connor Doyle getting bolder as his time in Omaha goes on to try to have a hit from outside the box. That's something he's been encouraged to do. This is offside as Ammon has the flag raised against him. It's been an eventful time for Ammon since he came on at half. Hit the post early in the second half, then scored 10 minutes later after Palacios' mistake put him through on goal. Speaking of eventful, it's been quite a night for Junior Palacios. Scored that thunderbolt of a free kick, then got booked a few minutes later, then made the mistake for the goal against, but still a good night for he and Union Omaha so far. Here's Dion Akoff, his first involvement, using his speed to get to the byline, cutting it back for Gallardo. It's Joe Gallardo having it taken off his foot by Arthur Rogers. Rogers was not going to let him get fully turned to have a shot. Luis Heel, how many classy touches has he had tonight? Now it's going the other way, and it's Marky Hernandez being tugged back by Gallardo, but he presses through that. Now a chance with the right and a good block. Dion Akoff got his body in the way. And the Owls can streak the other way. It's Skiers. It's Dos Santos with him. Dos Santos gave it away. Not Union Omaha's best counterattack. Now a free kick for Northern Colorado. Hailstorm still coming forward, still trying to find a way back into this game, but dispossessed was Jackson Dietrich. Dos Santos is offside. Have to credit the Hailstorm for keeping on going tonight. Here's Billy King. They have not rolled over and quit, which would have been fairly easy to do, especially when it went to 3-0 early in the second half. Here they come again. Attempted cross by Bruno Rendon, cut out. Now Hernandez almost skimmed at the back post for an opportunity. And I think it's going to be a corner. Marky Hernandez frustrated that he didn't make cleaner contact with that ball, but it is a set piece. Arthur Rogers with a chance to deliver one. Not had many corners tonight. That is such a strength of Arthur Rogers and this team. They scored from a corner against Tormenta earlier this year. Into the final 10 minutes of the 90. Rogers delivers and flicked along and flicked in, and it's 3-2. 10 minutes to go. Northern Colorado have 2 goals back with 10 men, and they're within 1. Incredible. A game that looked dead and buried from their perspective. A game that looked totally over when it went to 3-0. Oh, it's not over now, not at all. And it's that service from Arthur Rogers and the flick on by Ammon, who has his 2nd goal of the night. He's so tough to defend. They're so tough to defend from set pieces like that. And what a difference Trevor Ammon has made in this 2nd half. He has 2, his team has 2, and suddenly it's a nervous Werner Park. Another change for Northern Colorado as Donald Benamna comes on for the final 10 minutes. He replaces Enoch Kwakwa. So it had been a pretty festive atmosphere tonight. In a game which the home fans thought their side could cruise home in. Much less comfortable from their standpoint now. Real hope for Northern Colorado that against all the odds, they could still get something from this game. Rogers forward, Brewer away. Heel down and volleys. All kinds of space now opening up. The space has been there throughout the 2nd half. Northern Colorado going for it. They have been from the start of this 2nd half. And here goes Billy King. And King trying to slip a teammate down the left side. He wins a free kick. It didn't quite reach Lucky Oprah, who was making that streaking overlapping run, but Billy King was fouled. And from wondering how many goals Omaha would score tonight, now you're wondering if they can hang on. Because Northern Colorado really have their tails up. And here's Opara putting it across, swung away frantically by Palacios. It's a corner. What a fascinating, absorbing game this has turned into. It's going to be another opportunity for Arthur Rogers to swing in another one of his lethal corners. He found Trevor Ammon a couple minutes ago. Who could he find this time? Rogers goes near post again, and this time it's thumped away. Ammon did not appear to be making the same run that he did the previous time. It was Breck Evans who was going near post that time. But they recycle it and keep possession. Right now it looks like Omaha are the ones playing with 10. Ammon tried to find Opera, could not do so. The Owls' attempts to break out and counter, not fruitful at the moment. Hernandez was always going to be out-jumped by Akoff there. Dolabella has it fall to him. Skiers feeds Heel. Heel has Dos Santos at the far side. Thought he had the overlap from Gallardo. He did not. And he was frustrated by that. It's gotten ragged for the Owls. And now it's Hernandez. Not his best first touch. Akoff trying to let it run out of play. And now some tugging between he and Hernandez. Akoff not caring for that, and that's not something Marky Hernandez needs to get involved in right now. His team has the momentum. They're chasing this game. They have a chance to chase it successfully. You don't want to do anything that results in a stoppage of play, that results in the referee taking time to lecture you, to show a card. It just breaks things up. It lets the Owls try to deflate some of that momentum. Akoff's trying to shield it out of play. Hernandez trying to get around the edge of him. No need for that then. And yeah, there's no need for Akoff to do it back, but that suits Union Omaha much more at this juncture. The Owls make a change. They bring in Alex Steinwasser and remove Luis Heel. Hernandez has been shown a card. So that sequence, that's taken about 90 seconds off the clock. And yeah, you hope, if you're Northern Colorado, that that gets added back on in stoppage time in a few minutes. But there's no guarantee of that. Sometimes it doesn't happen. And you just let the flow of the game completely stop for a couple minutes, and your team has all the momentum. Hernandez being towered over by Dos Santos. Owls claiming a foul, they don't get one. Hernandez stole about 20 yards there and chose to pull it back to Rogers. If he can get away with it, why not? Now Rogers makes a surging run. Dances past Gallardo. Now Hernandez. 4 black shirts in the vicinity. It's Billy King trying to get turned. King to the end line. Now Rogers. He'll swing it in with his left. That's not his favored foot. It's not the foot that has produced all those assists the last couple years. King. Good feet from him. Billy King trying to serve it in for Opera. Loops up in the air. Hernandez after it. Brewer flicks clear. Further along by Skiers. Volley forward. This is 2-on-1. It's Dos Santos. Dos Santos trying to lob the keeper. And didn't quite get it right. Not sure he chose the right option there. He had Steinwasser to his right, 2-on-1. They could have executed that correctly. Made the situation much more comfortable for them again, but still it's 3-2 into the final 3 minutes of the 90. And you would think we'd have a healthy amount of stoppage time as well. Skiers. This game has been so open. Steinwasser had a late assist to put the game away at Central Valley a couple weeks ago. Skiers on the overlap, heavy touch. Skiers able to knock that down, and it falls to Steinwasser. Left for Dolabella, serve back post for Dos Santos. He's onside apparently. Steven Dos Santos tried to surprise Delgado at his near post. Delgado unsurprised. Look at all the space there is. Even on this narrow pitch. Here's Hernandez, and retreating to stab it out at the expense of a corner. And the nerves, the tension, really evident in this Union Omaha side as they try to ease their way over the finish line. In a game where it looked like they would romp to the finish. And they made it 3-0 early in the second half, playing against 10. This would be one of the unlikeliest comebacks in League One history if Northern Colorado could complete it. Rogers with another chance to wave that magic right-footed wand. His service, near post. That looked like it was going in. It came off an Omaha head last. It was Opera who got the initial head to it. I think it was Steinwasser who blocked it out. Maybe that was Skiers. Not sure if Nuhu would have made the save otherwise. He may have. They're glad they didn't have to find out. Another one for them to defend. Rogers delivering. This one flicked away. Akoff after it. Now it's Akoff motoring after it again. Steinwasser's in space in the middle. Akoff looks for the run of Dos Santos. A crucial block, though, to knock down the pass, but then turned over. Akoff again. Akoff squares it. What a stop by Rogers. A sliding challenge to prevent a certain tap-in goal by Steinwasser. And the game's still alive. Akoff creating problems with his persistence. Arthur Rogers again, immense. Free kick, Northern Colorado. Final 20 seconds of the 90. You see the fourth official. That's Jacob Larson getting ready to hold up that board and indicate how many additional minutes we'll have. We're being told there will be only 3, which surprises me, frankly. Sure feels like there have been more stoppages than that, but 3 minutes is the indicated time. 3 more minutes for Omaha to hang on for 3 big points, or for Northern Colorado to complete an incredible 3-goal comeback while playing a man down. Cross put in back post, that wasn't going to beat anyone, and thundered away by Gallardo. Allows Delgado to advance almost to midfield. Delgado forward, up in the air by Palacios, not the cleanest connection. Now Marky Hernandez. Hernandez trying to turn. Hernandez strikes just wide. And Werner Park exhales for now. Well, Marky Hernandez twisting right and then left. Just pulled it a little too far. Knew who had that post covered. Two minutes left. Nuhu taking all the time he can before this goal kick. Punching it as far down this short pitch as possible. That works for Omaha. It'll be a throw, and they'll be in no hurry to take that either. Northern Colorado bench irate, and somebody shown a card. Dos Santos wins another throw. Finally, the Owls able to do what they probably should have been doing for more of the second half, as they earn yet another. This is the kind of calm, taking time off the clock that we didn't see much of from them until now. Into the final minute of the 3. Rogers, that clipped off an Omaha foot. Only the Hailstorm have one back. Rendon being told to move back for the throw. It's got to go forward for Northern Colorado. It's got to happen now if it's going to happen tonight. It never looked like it would happen. The fact that it still might is incredible. Here they come down the left, and it's Opara. All kinds of black shirts around him. Opara trying to fashion something. That was off Akoff. Taken quickly. Akoff able to flick it away again. Akoff again protects. Loose ball falls to Steinwasser. They're really stretched, Northern Colorado. And it's Dos Santos down the right. Will he go for goal? Will he take it to the corner flag? Dos Santos, Steinwasser. Clip it back toward Dos Santos, didn't reach him. Thundered by Doyle, over and out. Is there time for more? There isn't. That's the final whistle. Northern Colorado's valiant comeback effort falls short. Union Omaha hang on for 3 big points in their home opener. A game full of quality, full of spectacular goals, full of drama, full of incident, full of argument. 5 goals, 3 points for the Owls. One spectacular night. Our Platinum Chiropractic Wellness Man of the Match, that guy, Noe Meza, who scored the bicycle kick that'll certainly be in contention for goal of the season at the end of this year, and then scored a simpler but still high-quality steered finish inside the near post early in the second half that looked like it was sending Union Omaha to a crooked number and very comfortable victory against 10 men. Turned into a much more uneasy game after he left the pitch. But he is the man of the match. Well, the Owls do enough. And we'll talk it over and show you our final highlights and wrap things up from Papillion when we come back. Union Omaha outlasting the Hailstorm by 3 goals to 2.
My name is Connor Doyle, and I'm a midfielder with Union Omaha. I was excited. It was obviously not a big reason why I came here, but Jay mentioned it as being a possibility of once joining the team, it was going to be a partnership with the club, and getting towards the end of my career, it was obviously a thing that I wanted to look towards finishing my degree, and so with a chance of getting a scholarship and kind of getting those things paid for, it was definitely pretty exciting and special. Like I said, I'm kind of nearing the end of my career in the next few years, and so it's kind of looking forward to that next step in life, and degrees go a big way in helping people make those next steps, so it's kind of the reason why I decided to finally get back into it. It's a big deal, because you know, there's guys like Yoskar who have the chance to kind of go pro at 18, but also you could go to a college and get a 4-year degree and maybe have a scholarship that way, but this gets things paid for, and he can be in a professional environment from a young age and learn. And so I think that's a big deal in terms of getting guys up through kind of the academy and stuff, and you can still promise them a degree and an education along with being in a professional environment. My name is Connor Doyle, and I am a Bellevue University student.
Well, if there was any indication that it's a new era in Omaha, this is it. 3-2, Union Omaha defeating Northern Colorado tonight at Werner Park in a game that was wide open until the very end. And let's look at the final highlights from this rather breathless 90 minutes of soccer. In the 15th minute, the first major incident of the game that really changed the whole course of the night. Stefan Lukic, clumsy challenge. He was already on a yellow, shown a second yellow and a red. Northern Colorado having to play with 10 men for the majority of the evening. And Union Omaha broke through in the 35th minute. Junior Palacios, not sure if it took a deflection, but boy, he hit it well either way. No chance for Lalo Delgado. The opening goal for the Owls. And then in first half stoppage time, Noe Meza with an incredible dagger of a goal. Shaft Brewer, it looked like this was going to run out of play. Not only did he keep it in, he was able to serve up a decent ball. Pedro Dolabella knocked it along, and what a finish. What a goal. Noe Meza. Watch him set this up with his chest. The full bike. Again, you see that in the movies. You rarely see a player execute it that perfectly in a live game. He did. He'll remember that the rest of his life. And well, he should. And then he added another in the 56th minute. Good finish here. Maybe not as spectacular. Luis Heel, great ball to slip him in. And Noe Meza, now with 3 goals on the season, roaring to life tonight. Looked like it was going to be easy from there for Omaha. Boy, was it not. This mistake by Junior Palacios allowed Northern Colorado back into the match. Trevor Ammon gratefully accepted that opportunity and made no mistake with it. Good finish beyond Nuhu, and it was 3-1. Then in the 81st minute, they'd come close a couple times to reducing the deficit further, and finally they did. An Arthur Rogers corner flicked home by the head of Trevor Ammon, who had a brace, and it was 3-2, and a really uncomfortable finish, but Union Omaha able to see out those final 10 minutes. Hang on for that 3-2 win. Final stats tonight as the Owls had the majority of the possession. The yellow cards were crucial, again resulting in the early expulsion of Stefan Lukic. Everybody else was able to keep themselves on the pitch. Quite a night in Omaha, one that I think everybody that was here will remember for quite a while. So the Owls get their second win of the year. Northern Colorado fall from the ranks of the unbeaten and suffer their first defeat of the season. Still, the fight they showed to come back into this match in such tough circumstances, they're showing that they are going to be a force to reckon with this year despite the setback here tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. For our entire great crew, I'm Donnie Barnes saying good night from Papillion, Nebraska, where it finished tonight rather incredibly. Union Omaha 3, Northern Colorado Hailstorm 2.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.